audio, don't we?
I hear it.
Can't hear you, though.
How come you can't hear me?
Because we don't have any audio, Tom. That's why we don't have you on. Would help if I turned your mic on.
Somebody better talk.
How about if I turned your mic on? Would that help?
No, I still...
Yeah, there you go.
No,
Oh, you just turned it back off.
I didn't do it. Turn it off.
Somebody turned it off.
Are we going to restart the show?
This is the professional...
Are we restarting the show, or we're going with this? Hey, happy Wednesday, everybody. Wednesday,
Oh, that's what happened.
December
my
the
fault.
10th. Tom's microphone was unplugged from the transmitter, and I think he's back with us now.
Plug it in. We'll get her going here.
Let's see. WSBR 740.
No, we had you for a second.
406. Thanks for joining Tom Trento and Enemies of the State, where we go after bad guys, government lies, and Muslim spies.
Yes, we do!
And Tom is somewhere off in the distance in a valley somewhere screaming up to us, waiting for his mic to come on. Folks, yesterday we
Try
had
again.
1, 2,
a
3,
pretty
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay.
Get the mic closer to your snout there,
Yeah,
would you?
don't
Tried.
plug it in. I tested it
No, it's
earlier.
good. It's good.
There we go.
They tried, and they couldn't shut my mouth. They could not shut my mouth. Who
Now
did
you're
that?
doing it again.
Somebody snuck in here and tried to. Hey, we need new equipment, ladies and gentlemen. We're actually moving into a new studio. It's going to be phenomenal.
All right.
Two phases to it, but we do need a few more shekels to
Tighten up the
improve
ship here.
over the equipment.
Was that a ploy to raise
Maybe.
money?
Yes, I staged my own.
Your
my
own
ploy, right?
fundraiser. Right?
No, we thank all of you who are considering making end-of-the-year donations. They're very important. We appreciate that. Launching the Israel Security Project. Actually, we've done a soft launch, hard launch after the holidays, Hanukkah, Christmas, and whatever phony baloney Islamic holiday may come.
Watch it, Trento.
Do you guys have anything that relates to...
Yeah, don't they have, isn't some, it's
Something
Kwanzaa?
around
Is it
Christmas
Kwanzaa?
time?
Is that
I
your
mean,
guys' thing?
The Schmuckies got Hanukkah. The Christians have Christmas. What are the Muslims?
We have already completed our big one for the year with the Eid.
That's true. You did that one already.
Yeah,
Ramadan. That was your
Ramadan.
big one.
Yes. We don't,
But I'm surprised you didn't, try to pull a fast one and throw in some Christmas December thing there.
Well,
Yeah.
what we like to do is infiltrate you with our interfaith events in December. We like to come
And we have a
and-
good one going on tonight, Wednesday, December
Right.
10th. Alan Kornman, our regional director for the United West up in Orlando, will be with a team properly and professionally participating. How's that alliteration? Participating in an interfaith dialogue meeting up in Orlando. And as we all know, these are such phony baloney programs that isn't funny. They're
It
usually
is
headed up.
hysterical that we are able to fool you stupid so-called Christians and Jews into allowing us to participate with our supremacist ideology. It is hysterical.
You could argue that religion is the most serious consideration man has. Even more important on many levels than food, because people have died for their religion when they could have stayed alive,
Yeah.
and made a different decision. But that's only because they hold these beliefs so closely, so dearly, so importantly. And it's foolish to, and I've always said this, it's foolish to find common ground. Where do we agree? The problem with that is when you find the minimal amount of ground where you agree. Jews, Christians, Muslims, and others. You find that little point, and then you try to build relationships. It's really phony faith, not interfaith, phony faith. The way to do this is find the absolute major points of disagreement. And for Jews and Christians, that's Jesus Christ. And I have spent my professional career with Jewish people and said, look, we seriously disagree as to whether Jesus Christ is the Messiah or not. If we can have a relationship in light of this major difference, then that's a real relationship. That's not like we make believe with these things. and this phony interfaith stuff, and I'm on this because we're involved in one of these tonight. We're going to hear about it tomorrow. We'll have them report back. These are a ploy by the Christian left who don't even believe in God, or more so, by whom out there, Imam Abdullah?
By the Ummah, by the Muslim people, with the interfaith garbage that we interfaith cooperation that we preach, that we can all get along, and the three Abrahamic faiths. That is so funny.
It is so funny, folks. On the 10th of December, 15 days before Christmas, and
It's infiltration.
I don't know how many days before Hanukkah. Somebody come up with the beginning of Hanukkah. And you're more than welcome, folks, to send us gifts. Just contact us. We'll send you the P.O.
6 days,
box. What?
It's 6 days till Hanukkah.
Is it 6 days?
Yes.
The 16th?
Yes.
Not bad. Okay.
I hope you've got my 8 gifts already.
They're
You got these pencils and dreidels already for him.
They are they're feeding themselves right now, and they will be nice and plump 6 days from now. We had kind of a difficult day yesterday, folks, the 9th of December. And really, we can point at a line of demarcation where the Democrat Party, in particular the Democrats in the Senate, in particular Dianne Feinstein, the head of the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence, only for 2 more weeks is she in that illustrious position, essentially committed treason in my mind. And I'll grant it isn't treason where you are spying for your country and providing comfort and aiding the enemy and assisting the enemy in their effort to I don't know, maybe when I say it that way, she certainly provided comfort for the enemy by exposing, and we'll grant for the sake of the argument, that there have been abuses within the CIA, though we do not believe that. But for the sake of the argument, to show the egregiousness of her offense, we'll grant every claim she makes. Well, that then becomes an internal problem, particularly with your number one spy element in the United States. We have a lot of elements where we spy in the DOD and other places. But the number one foreign spying is the CIA. We need to protect that from now until Kingdom Come. And Kingdom Come may be coming more sooner than we think. But for her to say, I have some quotes here, gentlemen. For her to say, and McCain to say, John McCain said right after she delivered her 1-hour diatribe against the CIA yesterday, John McCain came up and said, the offenses of the CIA have stained our national honor. Stained our national honor. Now, somebody tell me what he meant by that.
He means that the act of enhanced interrogation tactics.
EITs, enhanced interrogation.
Torture in English, torture, mild form that it was relative to what our foes consider torture in the battlefield and off of it.
Not what they did to John McCain, by the way. That's what he's
basically saying that it's beneath our principles as a country to treat people like that it's not humane, and it's beneath what we stand for as a country, which is absolute garbage.
All right, listen to this. This came in yesterday, and right after the show. From a Navy guy, he wrote, I find amazing that McQueeg...
He called him McQueeg. Tell him that explanation why we call him
well,
McQueeg.
Go ahead. You're a Navy guy. You should do that.
Well, has anybody's ever seen the movie, not Mutiny, the Caine Mutiny?
Caine Mutiny, right.
The Caine Mutiny starring Humphrey Bogart. He had the little balls he rolled in his hands, and he basically went insane. Well, the captain's name was Captain McQueeg, and that's the reason we call it the McCain Mutiny is what it is. McCain Mutiny is what it is.
Yeah. So it's a play on words for a movie character. But this Navy guy says, I find amazing that McQueeg can say he knows torture doesn't work since, one, the rumor is that he folded like a deck of cards. Now, this is a Navy guy saying within the Navy, the rumor is McCain folded like a deck of cards and cried like a little girl after very little torture by the North Vietnamese. Now, His arm was busted up because I've met
Right.
him and seen him and talked to him, and his arm's a mess. So he has physical, problems for sure. As a lieutenant commander and an A4 pilot, he wasn't in a position to know anything of strategic value and tactical information he could have provided within old news 2 or 3 days after he was captured.
Right.
Number 3, the A4 was not a high-tech aircraft, so he didn't have training on any new weapon systems that they might have been interested in.
Right.
Number 4, his main value to the North Vietnamese
comes.
was that his father.
Father. Right.
His father was an admiral, and the general propaganda use they had for all the POWs. So he was a propaganda tool more than anything. Most of his torture was more for revenge than getting info. This is very interesting, this Navy guy said after yesterday's show, after the Korean War, the U.S. military knew almost everyone would crack under torture. And they adjusted the rules of conduct of an American POW to reflect that fact. While I never went through SERE, S-E-R-E, training, that's escape, evasion, and I was told by people who had that they were told to resist as long as they could, but they would all eventually break. The best bet was don't get captured or escape if you did. Because the training in the services, you're going to break. Sooner or later, they're going to get you, and you're going to say stuff.
That's why a lot of the real
understandable.
covert guys were given cyanide pills. And
Absolutely.
if they said that's it, I mean, you're better off just doing it yourself and saving yourself the pain and saving the country whatever information that you might give up under duress.
But if that's true, that our United States military is training people who may get captured to know they're going to break at some point, hold out as long as you can,
Right.
we're trying to rescue you, all of that, then they're human beings, and we have some of the best training in the world. Doesn't it follow the other guys are going to break too
Well, I
when
gotta-
properly
Yeah.
scrunched?
Now,
How's that for
Of course.
now, let's talk.
enhanced scrunching techniques?
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Tom, but I believe that the Navy SEALs are waterboarded as part of their training,
I have heard that. Yes, I have heard that.
and they go through
that.
And their buds training is literally torture. They're
Brigades in Israel puts their people through a little bit more than waterboarding.
Yeah, I'm sure they
and also, when Dianne Feinstein was saying, and here's another one, correct me if I'm wrong, I thought she said that people were going to sleep deprivation for 6 weeks and
No, 7 days. I think
7
she said.
days or something like 7 days, right?
Yeah,
That's what happens in buds training.
yeah. You're that whole hell week. You're
And-
awake most of that week, and you get an hour here, an hour there.
Well, I tell you what, I'm making a point here. Where I was going with, when I was on the North Atlantic, going through the med cruises and everything, and we were doing 6 on, 6 off.
Club Med.
All right, and then doing drills and basic engineer and casualty control drills down in Guantanamo Bay. We weren't getting but an hour or two of sleep a night every night for weeks on end. Is that torture? Should I file against the Navy for
this
being
is-
tortured?
This is an excellent point because we said at the outset of yesterday's show that we are for torture here in the United States, and it ought to be a doctrine embedded in the military code of justice. And everyone, whoa, simply because who's going to define what torture is? And we
Right.
said if you show innocence of Muslims, that goofy trailer to Muslims, their heads explode, their eyes start popping out.
It
they
was
go
torture
nuts.
for me to watch.
It was torture for many Muslims to watch the comedy and the spoof of Muhammad. I mean, they start killing people and doing crazy things. So are we going to say, okay, we can't show those kind of movies anymore in America?
Oh, you're agreeing.
And that's what Hillary Clinton tried to do. And that's what one of the admirals, I believe, a general or admiral, called up. Oh, no, he called up that other, the guy who was going to burn the Qurans. What's his name?
Terry
Jones.
Jones.
Terry Jones. Remember, he called up Terry Jones and said, please don't do that.
Yes.
Our men are going to get
Yes.
hurt.
Right.
Right? Because it's torture for a Muslim to see a Quran burning. So does the enemy determine the level of enhanced techniques?
You know what's so funny? He makes that call to idiot Terry Jones about Where is the ounce of maybe you don't release this quote investigation on the CIA? You're so afraid of how.
What a great point.
Right?
Yep.
Terry Jones, the dope that doesn't represent the United States in any way, as far as on an official basis, he gets a call from the highest admiral in the Navy, yet where's the outrage when Dianne Feinstein and company put out a scathing, indicting report going over stuff that's no one's business except for the CIA?
And one is protected by the First Amendment. In the United States of America, Terry Jones can burn as many Qurans as he
Right.
wants to. That's his right as a citizen. Is it protected speech to enable and give comfort to your enemy? Probably is protected speech. Does it violate misprision of treason? That's a
Yes.
question we're raising at 22 minutes after
And
4 o'clock here.
And
on
here's
10th
the
of
other
December.
point, and what there and if you do not have these enhanced interrogate or torture, whatever you want to call it, I don't care. I'm not going to wax poetic on words, but if we do not have this, the only other option is what? Kill them.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to kill them in the battlefield. I mean, that's what, when you say you can't get the information out of the person, turn them over to the CIA, turn them over here, they're going to say, and they're just going to let these guys, if I'm a soldier on the ground and I capture this guy and I say, well, I know it's going to happen. I'm going to turn to the CIA. CIA is going to put him in Gitmo, and then we're going to let Gitmo and then throw him back out in the
They
field.
get
Like,
lawyered up and
and
everything.
he- you know what? Just give him a bullet.
He'll be playing soccer in
Dollar
Uruguay in
solution.
no time.
I know the average grunt soldier, and we'll just put a bullet in their heads.
Oh, not anymore. Not anymore. Not with the way every single bullet and every single shooting is
The
investigated.
rules of engagement. Well, we're going to do a show, maybe tomorrow. We'll bring this out on the demoralization. The Military Times did a big story on the demoralization of the United States military. And let me tell you, let's say the military was demoralized on a scale of 1 to 10 out of 6. Yesterday with Dianne Feinstein and John McCain's absurd position on torture and all of that, that's gone to a 9. And the level of being demoralized in the military
Yes,
has gone
definitely.
up because of this, not down. Do we have Ari with us?
Yes,
We do.
Yes, we
Okay.
do.
All right, here's
Speaking
the deal.
of the Kingdom Come,
Well, he may know one or two things about battlefield practices and combat and all of that. He served in the IDF, the Israeli Defense Force. It's Wednesday. If Ari's here, that means it's Wednesday. We're
Wednesday.
getting our up-to-date report from the most complex place on the face of the earth, the country of Israel, and the little city, 49 square miles, Jerusalem. Hi, Arie Egozi. How are you today?
I'm very good, Tom. Very good.
Good, good, good. We are very cold here in Florida. It's actually in the 40s and 50s Fahrenheit. That's, what is that, a little bit above zero, maybe 7 or 8 for you guys.
that was
centigrade.
overnight.
That was overnight. It's,
Oh, what is it
it's
now?
80 degrees.
It's almost 70
right.
degrees.
Get out of here. It is not. What's the temperature in Fahrenheit in Israel right now where you are?
I don't know. It was a very sunny day. Now outside it's a little bit chilly, but it's in comparison to what you have, it's a summer day. It's
A summer
beautiful
day. I tell you what, the weather is beautiful virtually all the time in Israel because there's deserts and you get that hot, dry stuff even in the middle of winter. And then if you go up to the north, to the Golan, it gets a little cooler, very, very nice. Or, Mark, you've been in the Dead Sea floating. You should have seen it, Damon. Floating in the Dead Sea in February, and the water was fine. And we'll be there this March 21st. We're going. We will see Ari there. For those of you who watch the show and like it, you will meet Arie Egozi. What do you got for us this week? Give us a general overview on what's going on in Israel. What are some of the key issues? Then I got a few key questions for you.
Okay, what's going on? The main issue is the upcoming elections, the unnecessary, stupid election in March. The politicians are crawling with each other, accusing each other, and some small coalitions are being formed just tonight because they feel that this time the elections will be crucial for some of the parties. This is one side. Another development is the death of a Palestinian activist today near Ramallah during a demonstration there near one of the settlements. The Palestinian accused the IDF of hitting him and using tear gas, and they say that this is the reason for his death. The IDF says that he had a heart attack. There are videos showing that he is laying on the ground, touching his chest. There'll be an autopsy tonight in Ramallah in the presence of a Palestinian, a Jordanian, and an Israeli pathologist. And the IDF has launched an investigation into that. That may cause some disturbances in the West Bank. And beside that, everything is quiet. Everyone in the politics, we had a big oil spill in the desert near Eilat. The oil pipe that goes from Eilat to Ashkelon cracked 5 days ago, and millions of gallons of crude oil spilled over the desert. It's a nature reserve, and people are working very hard to try and save this resort from damages. Beside of that, everything is quiet. Everything is quiet.
Well, let's pick up with this event that could cause a little disturbance. The IDF is investigating the death of the Palestinian Authority minister.
He's not a minister. It's not a minister. He's an activist. He's not a minister.
Okay.
They say he's a minister. He's not a minister.
All right. So his name is Imak Shiloh of Samaria, and he's an activist there. You have the footage, don't you?
I had one for Abu Ain.
Yeah.
Yes, that's his name.
Abu Ain.
Yeah, I was wondering about
That's his
that.
name.
Oh, okay.
He has been very active in the area in demonstrations, and something happened today, and it's under investigation now. I think that in a day or two we'll know what happened.
And Damon, what did you see in the video footage?
That wasn't the video footage. That was a separate video.
Oh, a separate one you were
that was
talking
a
about
separate
earlier?
video.
Okay.
But here I was looking into Abu Ain's past, and if I'm not mistaken, he was previously sentenced to serve life in prison in Israel for a 1979 bombing, but was part of a
Absolutely, that's
prisoner
correct. He
release
was
in
released one of the,
1982.
Prisoner swaps, and yes, he spent many years in the Israeli prison, but in recent years he was very active near this settlement. They claim, the Palestinians, that the settlers blocked their way to their agriculture areas. And today there was a normal demonstration. They have a demonstration there almost every week, and something went wrong there. And this is now under investigation by the Palestinians and by Israel. And Bibi Netanyahu gave an order to the IDF to be in constant touch with the Palestinians, so that the investigation is being performed in a common effort, so that the results will be respected by the two sides.
Arie, are you familiar with what's going on over here in the States with Ferguson, Missouri, and Michael Brown, and then also the Garner case in New York, where we have protests around the country, people protesting against the police departments?
Yes, we see the videos on all the channels. The guy that was choked by the policeman, and the shooting in a Chabad synagogue I think in New York 2 days ago. A homeless guy that went into this place with a knife. He was shot. I know that there are demonstrations, but I know what I see in the TV channels. I don't know any more than that.
So there's no protests or anything like that going on. They're not running into malls or storming stores in Israel because of this stuff, right?
No, nothing here.
Okay.
We have our own problems. We don't need to import problems from New York to Israel.
Well,
All right, Arie does not need to import any problems on the 10th of December. It's Tom Trento Enemies of the state, it's 431, ladies and gentlemen. You only have 15 more days until Christmas, 6 more days till Hanukkah. So get all your shopping and everything done. We're here on a Wednesday. We have our correspondent on the ground. Let's put up his website, Israel's Homeland Security Home. Israel's Homeland Security Home. We want you to go there, take a look at all the stories that are on Arie Egozi's website. Read his column. He does a regular column there, giving us an update. It sounds like the problems that were occurring, Arie, a couple of weeks ago when I was there, these independent attacks by some of the jihadis, have calmed down a bit. And you've told us last week the IDF, the border police, are expanding with patrols. Tell us what's going on the Temple Mount. Then we want to go over to Syria because it looks like you sneaky Israelis may have had a hand in a little problem in Syria. Tell us about the Temple Mount first.
The Temple Mount now is very quiet. I think that the police, with the backing of Netanyahu, they now block the Jewish activists who went on the Temple Mount and incited some action there. I think that in recent week or 10 days, the situation on Temple Mount is very quiet, and it can change in minutes after such an incident today during the demonstration. But until this hour, it's very quiet there. Jerusalem is very quiet, and there are no problems that we used to see some 10 days or 2 weeks ago.
Okay, sounds good. That's the Temple Mount. So all of you who have your tours planned and you're going to the Holy Land for Christmas, any reason why Christians who are traveling on a pilgrimage to the Holy Land for Christmas should not go?
No, I don't think so. Everything is quiet and things are normal. There was a huge traffic accident now on the road to Jerusalem. A gas tank with many tons of liquid gas collided with another truck, and the road was closed but the driver was burned into the cabin. But that was a road accident. Nothing of the disturbances that we saw 2 weeks ago. Everything is quiet in Jerusalem, around Jerusalem. Of course, this demonstration today can do something, but I have the feeling that both sides understand. The Palestinians announced immediately that they are going to stop the security coordination with Israel. But I think they will go back on that because that works for them also. The security coordination with the IDF is working for both sides. So that was the first reaction. I don't think that Abu Mazen will really stop the defense or security coordination with Israel. I think that this coordination goes on and will go on because it works for them, it works for us.
Yeah, that's Abu Mazen is Mahmoud Abbas, folks, the head of the Palestinian Authority. And if there was ever anyone that spoke tongue, it's that individual. But he's a realist in many respects and doesn't need a bunch of his jihadi guys running all over the place. It's 35 minutes after 4 o'clock on the 10th. Tom Trento here on WSBR Radio, 740 on your dial. Thank you for tuning in, folks. Tell your friends about it. We get a lot of emails and letters, and folks tell us, great job, we love what you guys do, the guests you have from overseas, all of that, and a comfortable feel, a little bit of humor you have, we love that. But we also get emails that say, cut out the humor, more direct, just give us the news, right? What are we supposed to do?
Just the facts, ma'am, just the facts.
And I get people saying, no, you need to be more like Jon Stewart. It should be all humor. No.
But anyway, let's turn to humor right now. Mark, you have a question?
Yeah, I have. yes, we do. How does the IRS?
Yeah, tell us about the IRS.
How does the CIA announcement from the Senate affect Israel? Has there been any reaction to that or alarm to that or anything like that?
Nothing, nothing. That was reported in the news bulletins, on radio, in the newspapers, on TV. But I don't think, again, we have our problems here. Everybody is busy with the local politics. It was reported. We saw Mr. Kane speaking and President Obama reacting. But I don't think that it's on the top list of news items today, because we have some major stories here. We had this attack in Syria that was allegedly was performed by Israel, and there's some tension in the Golan Heights because the Syrians threatened to react. Russia also was angry because allegedly, according to foreign sources, some of the weapons that were bombed in the depot that was bombed by the mysterious aircraft that flew over Syria came from Russia. So there are many issues going on here, and the things that go on in the US are being reported, but have not become a major issue in Israel.
So no Arab uprising like some people were worried about against the U.S. You haven't seen anything like that, correct?
No. I don't think. No, I haven't heard anything about that. I think the Israelis consider it a domestic American problem that has to be dealt with in the U.S. Senate, or Congress, in the White House, and I don't think that Israel has a saying about such an issue.
I think most Israelis are well aware that this administration disdains Israel anyway.
Yeah.
All right, now, this is a very important mission that took place. Damon, I just sent you from one of our intelligence sites. I sent you the pretty good graphic. See if you can get them. You may need a passcode to get in. But this could be very serious because there were attacks at the Damascus airport, at Dimas, at Quneitra. I mean, there were several attacks in various parts of Syria, some going right up to the border of Lebanon. And now you're saying there's a little bit of activity in the Golan. What do you mean by that?
Yes, there's some activity because after such an attack, there's always a danger that someone will use it to retaliate, either the Hezbollah or the Syrians themselves. The Syrians are busy with the civil war in Syria, but the Hezbollah can do something because they are the long arm of Iran. And but so far we didn't see any special activity in the Golan Heights. But of course, the IDF and the IAF is keeping a high status of alert in the area. And you could hear the aircraft flying over central Israel on the way to the northern part. Of course, in such a situation, you have to be on a high alert if something happens.
Okay, well, let's tell the folks. It's 40 minutes after 4 o'clock, December 10th. We have Arie Egozi, and he is our correspondent on the ground. He's the general editor for Israel's Homeland Security Home, an industry website dealing with military intelligence issues. Go check that out. And we're talking right now about a strike on December 7th. Today's the 10th, 3 days ago. And the strike targeted Iranian-made Fateh, F-A-T-E-H, Fateh 110 missiles. These suckers, we're trying to put a picture up, these are not the Hamas mortars. These things are gigantic. They're 20, 30, how big are they?
The Hamas rockets, the Qassam, are homemade, are made from pipes. And they have improved them, but the Fatah 110 is actually not a rocket; it's a missile because it has a long range, it has a big warhead, and it is based on Iranian and North Korean technology, and this is a big problem if they start to launch Fatah and Zilzal rockets to Israel, and they have something like 50,000 of them. in hiding places all over Lebanon. Hezbollah is controlling Lebanon, so they do whatever they want. So this is a problem, and the Israeli government again and again said that if weapons that are considered game changers will come to Lebanon, Israel will react. And our Minister of Defense, Bughi Ya'alon, said yesterday again, of course, he didn't say anything about the attack, that Israel has the right to stop any flow of game-changing weapon systems to Lebanon. You can understand by yourself what he meant.
Well, yeah, and everybody watching us right now, for those of you driving in your car, we just put up a picture of the Fatah, Fateh, Fatah 110 missile made in Iran. There's a picture of it, so when you're done listening on WSBR 740, go home, watch the show on theunitedwest.org. We keep the show up for one whole day, so this will be up until tomorrow. That sucker is 40 feet long.
Well, yeah, you picture a, what the size do you call it? Like a bus, a large...
Yeah, size of a bus.
Size of a bus.
The length
of the bus, and about a...
It's a missile more than a rocket. There's a thin line between rocket, but a rocket is considered a very weapon with a free fly. This Fatah 110 has control systems, navigation systems. It's a very deadly weapon. And there's another development. The Israeli Air Force said last week in a conference here that the Hezbollah in Lebanon is acquiring more unmanned systems, aerial system, UAS. They tried to penetrate the Israeli airspace in recent years, and all of them were shot down. Iran is making some very advanced types of UAS, not compared like the Israeli one, and you can use them as flying rockets. So the situation is very fragile along the Syrian border because of the ISIS, because of Hezbollah, because of all the parties that are being active there.
And that's and we got a lot to say about that. Damien, you got something?
Yeah. Also, having to do with the Israeli strike. I heard that one of the reasons the Russians were so interested in this is in that Russian S-300 anti-aircraft batteries were also supposedly attacked, and those S-300s, from what I understand, can actually target up to 100 incoming aircraft at a time. Is that possible?
Okay, so the S-300 is not in Syria, not in Lebanon. Iran asked the S-300 also. Russia did not supply it. It's a very advanced surface-to-air system. And if Syria has it, or if Lebanon has it, it can shoot down aircraft that flying over Tel Aviv. It's a long-range surface-to-air. I think the Russians have refused so far to supply the system to Syria and to Lebanon, but they have other systems that they allegedly send with aircraft landing at night near Damascus. Big Antonov are downloading large quantities of weapon systems. And I think, as Israel said again and again, if a weapon system that is considered a game changer, if the Israeli intelligence know about it, it will be destroyed on the way to the front.
Very interesting. Hey, folks, it's very important at this point, 45 minutes after 4 o'clock on December 10. We're getting our weekly update from Arie Egozi in Israel right now, live, Skyped in. We got a real good connection. If you want to ask Arie questions, send them to us, tom@theunitedwest.org, and we'll pose questions to him. He's an expert on national security issues. And we're looking at the various threat environments and threat metrics that Israelis have to deal with on an everyday basis. But we're also inviting you to come with us in March to go analyze these up close, talk to some of the IDF personnel involved so that you can come back and be further educated, motivated as an activist to stand with Israel over these next 600 and however many days, Mark, we have until our critical election, November 8, 2016. That's our Israel Security Project. That's a piece of it. But don't let the fact that we're discussing the various enemies and threats to Israel scare you away from Israel, because we do the same thing with the threats here in the United States, which are 100-fold more. There are evil people right now planning as to how to put an EMP over the middle of the United States and blacken our country, send us back 200 or 300 years. There
Or
are
with
people-
software to do the same thing.
or infecting themselves with bacteria and viruses,
Right.
and going into Christmas malls. You can't go shopping at a mall because there may be terrorists that are going to cough all over you and you're going to get Ebola or something. People are planning to do this to Jews and Christians, to the big Satan, us, and the little Satan, Israel. We've got to be realistic in analyzing, understanding these threats, and forcefully responding to them. Not doing what Dianne Feinstein and Senator McCain did yesterday, failing our country in terms of attacking, doing a waterboarding on the CIA.
Arie, I got a simple question for you.
Yeah.
Do you feel safe in Israel?
Do I feel safe?
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And let me
Absolutely.
expand that. How about your friends and neighbors? Do they feel safe in Israel?
We feel safe. We go everywhere. We go at night. Young people go at night. Of course, we have criminals like in every other place. So we have the police. We have locally made criminals.
How can you feel safe?
You mean terrorists? There's no problem. You can go anywhere. No problem at all.
Well, and a lot of Americans are sitting over here, and this is the question. One of my members of my family says, it's not safe over there, and I'm going, yes, it is. It's completely safe. I go, it's a great place to go. I go, the people feel safe there. Once you get there and you understand what it's like, it becomes, okay, this is something else we got to deal with. But that's the reason we have a military, and they're going to take care of it.
I will tell you a story that I told Tom while he was here. A friend of mine, a journalist, came from Britain a few years ago, and he had some stamps of Arab countries in his passport. So I went to the airport to take him. I have a pass to go to the aircraft, and it was Friday afternoon. I drive him to Tel Aviv, and we approached, and all of a sudden he asked me, "Where are the tanks?" I said, "Are you crazy? Are you on drugs?" He said, "What do you mean? You have tanks in every street corner." So I drove on. I took him to the beach, and since today, when he was so embarrassed. Since today, when he calls me, "Sir, the tanks there," he was sure that there are tanks and machine guns in every street in Tel Aviv. People just don't know. People don't have an idea about the real life in Israel. Absolutely, that's a problem.
And also, if you look at where it's not safe in the world, and I'll give you a pretty good example of what not safe is. I would say Syria, not safe. I would say Iraq, not safe. Afghanistan, not safe. Iran,
Chicago,
not safe. It's just, it's amazing because I think because people just, I wouldn't go there. I'm just so afraid. Afraid of what?
We were all over. I was with Arie and a couple of other people. We went down south. We were in Tel Aviv. We went in and out of restaurants, cafes. Not even a glimmer of any problem. But the wonderful thing is, particularly if you're sitting down in a nice cafe somewhere, and you look around and there's 40 men and then 40 women, 90% of those people have been through the military, understand the enemy, understand combat, understand fighting, and understand what to do in the case of an emergency. So, let's go somewhere around here.
I would never go. 40 men,
Yeah.
40 women. If there are 40 men, we need 160 women. So I will not be there.
Yeah, you go here and in the event of a problem, you got everybody runs away, maybe one person stays. In the event of a problem in Israel, everybody stays and helps. Totally different dynamic. Very, very safe country. I don't know. Can Arie see that?
Yes, I see it. Tel Aviv beach, beautiful.
Look at that. That's people don't realize that Tel Aviv is on the med there, and just absolutely phenomenally
Stunningly
beautiful.
And by the way, that's what Gaza could look like
could.
if you have, a decent
People
government
with a brain, that
with
wanna-
a brain.
just
You
kill
can,
people.
It could look a
say
lot.
that again.
It's
still
the
remember
kosher
the time when
Riviera.
you could go to Gaza to have fish on the beach. If they were clever, they could be millionaires because the labor is cheap. Every big hotel chain in the world will build hotels on the beach in Gaza. And instead of that, they launch rockets into Israel.
And I'd have
We
to.
talked about it, but every time and again, I don't understand it.
I don't understand the logic. Oh, and by the way, one of those
We understand.
areas I
We
would
understand.
classify as not safe, Gaza, and that's because.
Yeah.
And what are all
Absolutely.
the? Now, I just named like 4 things off the top of my head, and it just hit me. I named all 4 of those areas.
What's the connecting?
What's the
tissue
connecting
between them?
tissue, the connecting dot?
Imam Abdullah.
Islam is the connecting dot, you silly man. Well, here in your filthy America, you have your south side of Chicago.
Yes.
You have your filthy New York. You have this putrid Miami, just a little bit south of here, where it is much, much more dangerous than it is to be in Israel, even as an Arab.
We do have our problems, but these are not terrorists. These are criminals. And our police used to be able to take care of them. Now with this new Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, and de Blasio move, even our police are fighting themselves on the outside. Anyway, Arie, we got to say goodbye to you. Once again, it was a pleasure. As always, thank you for taking the time, your insightful analysis, and your very clean language.
Yeah, what was
Yes,
up with that?
you're a
guy?
mensch,
Yeah,
Arie,
what was
you're a
that?
mensch.
Very clean what?
Language.
Your language.
Language.
No beeping on today's show.
I try harder, like Hertz.
Okay, good. You felt like it's-
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, we'll see you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Shalom.
Have a
Bye-bye.
great evening. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Arie Egozi,
Bye.
Israel's Homeland Security Home. That's his publication. He's the general editor there.
Editor-in-chief.
Editor-in-chief. He puts all the stories together, and that website really is a public look at the military-industrial complex in Israel. And he's in the center of all these conferences that bring in various hardware, various airplanes, munitions, where agents from all over the world want to sell to Israel, or conversely. Israel has technology they want to export. So his publication forms these conferences, and he's in the middle of that. And as a result, when he was my host in Israel, doors were opened that I have never seen opened before as easily as he could open them, because he knows these people for years. He's also in the reserves, did many years in the Israeli Defense Force, fought in combat, and just a wonderful guy, really is. So tell the folks about our trip. Do we have something we can put up? I want to give them a little feel. Very, very important. 55 minutes after 4 o'clock, as you're thinking about what to give somebody for Hanukkah or Christmas, forget about these little tiny little, like 8 little gifts, okay? Give them a trip with us to Israel. They'll be a changed person when they get back. We all meet in Tel Aviv. We stay at first-class hotels. Breakfast provided every morning. You get up, you go down to breakfast, you have your little name tag, you go into the room, our group, 30, 40 people there, small group. This isn't a 500-person tour. This is a briefing. This is an educational exercise with a lot of fun wrapped around it to equip activists and people serious about America, patriotism, Israel, national security. We go down to breakfast, and you sit there, and you order, some eggs and no bacon, eggs and home fries and a bagel. No, you don't do that. You get up and you walk around the room. Your eyes bug out of your head because you're over here at the fish section. Fresh fish, sliced beautifully. Nova, salmon, halibut, all these various things.
Yeah, if you're-
Olive, they're making me hungry here. Olives just lined up right there. Breads, beautiful baked breads, whole variety of various breads. We've only gone 2 feet.
Leavened and unleavened.
We've only gone 2 feet into the buffet. Now you come to the cheese portion. Every single day, these are the breakfasts. You should come just for the breakfasts. Whole variety of beautiful cheeses. You cut them up, you put them in your dish, you do this. And then my favorite, the salad section. The Israeli salads are phenomenal, known for it. You have every sort of... The Israelis took a friggin' desert, figured out how to get water to it, and now grow their own phenomenal breakfasts, vegetables. Beautiful tomatoes sliced wonderfully. Come to the olive section. I was there the other day, just eating 100,000 olives all over the place. We haven't even gotten to the main food yet.
Well, I'm a carnivore. And I got to agree with you, Tom. I love just the amount of I grew up in Indiana, okay, and I was spoiled on fresh vegetables and fresh corn, fresh tomatoes, stuff like that. I have not tasted as great food as far as vegetables are concerned until went to Israel last time. It was a total surprise to me. It really was.
So come on our gourmet extravaganza where we're going to eat for 10 days and do nothing else. The eating is that's just breakfast. I can't even go through all the details. We don't have time. Lunchtime, we're on the road somewhere, and we stop either in a cafe or prearranged. We've gone into the Druze community, gone to Druze restaurants, all of this. Beautiful little falafel or shawarma or, Israeli food.
Delicious.
But you know what? For you Americans, there's a McDonald's right there. You can go to McDonald's and get a hamburger. You can do that if you want.
You know what?
And then it comes dinner time. Dinner time. And that's where the meats come out and the wine comes out and just...
You got some really good wine over there.
They have good wine. I brought a few bottles
Not
home.
to mention top-notch speakers every night at dinner.
We will now. We've gotten up early. We're out. You're in the bus. You're able to nap in the bus a little bit. You can go from the north to the south, where we're going to be going 4 hours or so. So each trip is about an hour. You're not on the bus too long, and you get out, and everything's planned as safe can be. Take a little nap. You're playing around on the bus. You meet new people, lifelong friendships. Come on, go to our website, unitedwest.org. Right on the bottom is the sign-up stuff, the itinerary, everything that's going to take place. Go look, contact us, sign up. You got to come on this trip.
Yes, you do.
Cool
No, and whatever, I always had like apprehensions all the time before I go over there, but once I get there, I'm like, God, what was that all about?
Yeah, I know. He's always going,
Yeah, I know.
It's okay, Mark.
You're a chicken.
It's okay, Mark. It's
I
okay.
know.
Mark. You're coming. Damon's coming this time.
Rumor has it.
Rumor has it. Oh, we're all
We're going to leave Imam Abdullah here, though. He's not coming.
Oh, what are we going to do with the show? We'll have to do the show live from Israel.
That's right.
In any event,
Imam Abdullah could do his own little show.
on this 10th of December, we thank you for joining with us. We're going to bring it to a close here. And look, the style of our show, I know some people want more direct talking head news stuff where you read the script. That's not us. You get us real. We're unplugged. We are who we are.
We put the heart in jihad.
We put the heart in jihad. We're very serious subject matter experts on Islamic jihad, on the Obama left, on the failures of Obama, on the Constitution, all this stuff. We know what the heck we're talking about, but we also know the straight stuff just given to you will cause you to swallow your revolver or jump off the biggest bridge in town. So we kind of mix it in with a little tainment. We do edutainment here. That's the style.
Put the Jew in edutainment.
That's what we do. That's the style of show. Please send the show around to your friends. Let them know what's going on. Consider an end of the year donation. And consider writing a letter to Feinstein and McCain telling them to straighten up and apologize. Apologize to the Central Intelligence Agency and all the great people that have worked and given their lives there, because they did them a disservice. See you tomorrow.